Hi, my name is Robert Shelley with Chelle Law, and my law firm assists physicians with employment contract issues. Today I'm going to talk about how should a resident physician look for a job. So literally, what steps should they take in finding a position that they'll be satisfied with. So timing certainly is important. So most physicians generally start looking for positions early in their PGY3 year. Some specialties will even sign contracts in their PGY2 year if they're not going into fellowship. Obviously, if a physician is moving from residency into fellowship, they usually won't start looking until the end of their last year of residency, or maybe it's a multiple year fellowship, maybe at the beginning of the last year of their fellowship as well. So there's a number of ways a physician can find a job. So the easiest way I've found is through colleagues. So if you've trained with somebody, usually they'll know of, okay, I hear this place is recruiting, or maybe they joined a practice and they say it's a great environment, that we're looking to add another physician in specialty. Maybe you should take a look at it. Now, that can kind of vary wildly as far as location, and location is very important to some and not important at all to others. So if you're getting some leads from some of your fellow residents or fellows, it can kind of go all over the place. So that's one way, is to talk to colleagues, mentors, other people you've met in training. And that's also a great way of kind of determining what the market value is at the time. The MGMA Data, or anything similar to that, is kind of like a annual survey of physician compensation, across the nation. It's broken up into geography and specialty, physician-owned versus hospital-based position. Some specialties, the sample size is so small, you can't really, I don't think it's like a great tool. Other specialties, if there's hundreds and hundreds of responses, can usually be a pretty good gauge. Now, I don't think any physician should base a job search solely on compensation. I think that's pretty short-sighted. Anyone coming out of training needs to be in an environment where they can learn, where they're going to have mentors, where they're going to feel safe, where they're going to have an opportunity to grow. Many times I'll see, especially in like rural environments, where they just absolutely need a specialty, they're willing to throw a bunch of cash at somebody, but they'll be the only one in their specialty out there. And there'll be no others, no one to learn from, no one to train with, no one to pick someone's brain, at least locally. Those scenarios are pretty tough. Some physicians certainly can thrive in that environment, but others, it's more difficult. And so I think that needs to be taken into account. And so, a contract any physician contract is going to have some kind of without cause termination. So if a physician is really unhappy, they just provide, usually 60 to 90 days notice, and they can move on. So, even if you're in a job at the beginning, you're not stuck there forever. You can just find something better. I mean, I find a lot of physicians coming out of residency or fellowship will take a first job and then say, all right, well, now I know what I don't want. And so they can look for jobs that are kind of more appropriate to what they're looking for. Another way is through physician recruiters. So there are kind of two types of recruiters. You have in-house recruiters. So many of the big hospital networks employ physician recruiters who are going to go out to the different residency programs. Maybe there's some kind of job fair, something like that. Or they'll specifically reach out to people in training saying, hey, I have this opportunity in this place. Would you be interested? They're free to the physician. You're not going to have to pay the recruiter or anything. The employer is the one that kind of pays the recruitment fees. So physician recruiters, both, in-house and those that are just private group where they just kind of go out and broker these deals. Normally they would get a percentage of the first year salary of the physician, or maybe some kind of flat fee, something like that. But there's absolutely no harm in discussing positions with recruiters. It's a pretty normal way of doing business nowadays, and they usually have their kind of their ear to the ground and know of many different opportunities that could be exciting for a physician. Another way is, if you have a specific region in mind, is just doing job searches for practices in your specialty in a specific area. Most places will have job posts and just normal job sites if they're looking, and you can just kind of search for those in the city that you want and find that and contact them from their job listing. That's another way. So those are the three kind of biggest ways: word of mouth through colleagues, doing it through a physician recruiter, or just simply searching in specific cities through a job search website. Now, for those of you that maybe are J1s or something like that, that's like an entirely different kind of job search, and I can do a different video about that. But this is more geared towards those that are, looking for kind of the normal position that's just coming out of training. All right. Well, if you have any questions, you can always call my law firm at the number listed below in the description, or you can always reach us through our website, ChelleLaw.com. That's CHELLE law.com. Once again, my name is Robert Chelle, and appreciate you watching the video. Thank you.